Yo, what's going on guys? John's here. Today I want to be telling you where I've been for the past 4 weeks, what's been going on, because I haven't made a video in 4 weeks, so pretty much we're going to go in detail about what's been going on through there. So pretty much 4 weeks ago, as you can see, I was pretty much doing the campaign for the Modern Warfare series, but I just started to get I was getting really ill, like throwing up constantly, and we didn't really know why, so we kind of led it down to me because I was getting some breakthrough pain because of the cancer that I've been getting. So they upped all the doses, and we kind of just led to believe that me being sick was my body not agreeing with the morphine that I was on. So we couldn't really take it down. We took it down to 15 milligrams, and that seemed to keep things stable for a while. But then about a few weeks later, my stomach just started to swell. Like my stomach ridiculously started to swell, and it got to the point where I couldn't breathe. Like I couldn't breathe at all. Like it was pushing up on my diaphragm, and what we didn't realise is these drugs, how strong they are, can cause really bad constipation. So that was me. So we tried all different types of laxatives to try to push this thing, and it would not budge. So we got rushed into A&E. I'm having panic attacks. I was so constipated. It was raising my body temperature. I was literally burning up. So I was panicking and everything, and I didn't really know what to do. So they did do a few methods. We tried different laxatives, but for some reason it would not resolve itself. So I've been in hospital ever since. And then obviously the pain got worse and worse, and I've recently had a scan about 3 days ago I had a scan just to see where's the cancer at. So I will be getting the results on that on Monday. So yeah guys, so once the constipation we thought was sorted, everything was running completely fine. Well, it wasn't completely fine, it still was just at really a standstill. Nothing was budging. Tried loads of different things. I was constantly throwing up, and it's just absolutely awful, and it was just horrendous. And then we did get it under control because we got put on some stuff called Picolax. If you don't know what Picolax is, you can search it up. Pretty much just gets everything going. Very powerful stuff, and yeah, you can kind of guess what happens. So yeah, I got put on some Picolax. We got everything cleared out, and I went on home. And the first day I was home, I slept good, and I woke up in the morning and proceeded to just go throughout my normal day, and go into my brother's room, and me and my brother were just playing some GTA, and I sometimes so it's been going on for probably about a year now. So sometimes I pop my knee. It's it's really hard to describe the sensation that actually happens. It's like the tendon goes over the bone, and you stand up. It's really painful, and then it just snaps, and then it spasms for a bit, and it stops. But what happened is I had this sensation, and I stood up, and it wouldn't pop, and it just kept spasming, and I just could not. I was screaming. I was absolutely screaming. At one point I thought I broke my leg, and I was just panicking. I was completely panicking. So I was stuck in my brother's room for around about 3 hours, just not being able to move at all, just sat down. And for me to even get into in my room, I had to be wheeled on a chair. My dad had to push me or pick me up. So we decided, right, need something to be done, because the same day I was supposed to be having Botox to release some tendons at the back of my knees. Because if anybody doesn't know, I got all my muscles very tight due to the cancer, and how stiff I've become over the years. So we went to the Botox appointment, me literally screaming, barely could get into out the car, in the car, everything. And we got to the appointment, and they instantly said, right, he needs to be taken to A&E. And at that point, I was sweating, getting really hot. I was feeling very faint. I kept throwing up. I couldn't really even keep water down. So we went to A&E. We got a little slip to give me an X-ray. Went through down to the x-ray and had it x-rayed. Nothing really seemed to be show, no break, no fracture, nothing. So it was a bit confusing, and then my mum proceeded to say maybe it's neurological, because when I was about 7 to about 9, I used to have this excruciating leg pain due to the tumour. And I was like, well, I don't know, it might be that. It's really hard to explain this, but yeah, it could be that. So my knee, like my leg, started to go blue, and then it would go really, really red, and then go really hot, to the point where they said, oh, maybe there's some fluid in it. So they got a needle and stuck it into my knee, tried to extract some fluid, and yeah, that's when it started. They tried to extract, and I had, I think, probably one of the worst pains I think I've ever experienced in my entire life. And what pretty much happened is, I'm going to put this into example of you. Get a piece of string and pull it until it's just about to snap. It's literally, that's how my leg felt, and I was full on screaming, crying my eyes out. Like, it takes a lot for me to cry over pain, because I've been through a lot. Like, I've had metal rods being put in my bloody back and everything. Like, it takes a lot for me to cry over pain and stuff like that, and I was absolutely screaming. And at this point, I'm being put on Entonox. If you don't know what Entonox is, it's gas and air to help with the pain. Wasn't even helping at all. I was in agony. I couldn't sit up, I couldn't move, couldn't do anything, and I was just panicking. So the main base of action through there was to get me on a ward, and as you know, that I'm having treatment soon, which is what I'm going to discuss later on in the video. Is I'm supposed to be having treatment on a ward called TCT, which stands for Teenage Cancer Trust. So we went to, I pretty much phoned up and said there, and they said, oh no, he's not allowed to come up here because he's a Valindra patient. And that's not true when I'm having the chemotherapy at the Heath, in that hospital, on that ward. So that I was pretty much stuck screaming in absolute agony for, I don't know, I think we may have been on TCT for around about 7 hours, and I was just crying my eyes out. And at this point, I'm getting really, really scared. Like, I'm getting absolutely terrified. Like, I don't get scared, and at this point, I'm kind of thinking, like, right, something's really going on with this cancer. Like, something's happened, it spread. Like, I'm freaking out big time. I'm on all this gas. I've been on gas and air for around about 3 hours at this point. I'm so completely off my head, but my knee will not budge. So another hour, a few hours go by, and they pretty much come in. Me, literally, everything's dizzy, but I'm still just absolutely screaming the place down. I'm crying, my mum's crying. Like, it's just an absolute state, and it's just, it was awful. Like, I will never ever forget how bad that pain and that day will be for the rest of my life. How bad it was. It's like, as I put it into example, none of you really understand. Like, as I said, I used to have excruciating leg pain when I was about 7 to I was about 9. I'd say that about times 100. Like, it was getting to the point where I was saying to my mum, like, I don't want to die. Like, I don't want to die. Like, all these things that I was scared I was actually going to die. Because at this point, early, like, in the morning before my leg actually did have this spasm, I was walking down the stairs and I just threw up. No feeling sick, nothing. And obviously, because the astrocytoma, the tumour and the cancer that I had is in my spinal cord, and if you're throwing up out of nowhere, that could start to affect how you breathe, how you control your saliva, and that could, evidently, end to, stopping breathing. So I'm sat here screaming screaming the place down. Like, A&E was literally just me completely screaming. I can't put into words how bad it was. I've never screamed like that before in my life, ever. I remember having my spinal rods put in, and that was still absolutely agony. But this pain, this comes close to it. This pain really does come close to it. So yeah, they got me a bed on TCT eventually after all this time, and me being on gas and air. So I was on gas and air all night, and I did get some sleep, and I got up in the middle of the night. Well, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, right, let's try move. And at this point, I just started crying because I could not move my legs at all. Like, I'm paralysed from the waist down completely. Like, I was paralysed from the waist down completely, and I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to control this. Like, I can't, like, I don't know how to explain these things because of how bad it is. So I'm still, like, I've got the Entonox right next to me, I'm screaming, and the nurses come down saying, oh, obviously you need to keep it down, you've got other people on the ward, and at this point, like, how can I keep it down? I feel like I'm dying. Like, I can't explain to you the pain that I was in. And base of action is a couple of days go by, and we get to Christmas Day, and I'm still in hospital, and this is where I was going to get my brother or one of my family members to actually come on and explain what was happening, because I was on so many drugs that it was like I was a zombie. Like, my eyes were rolling back, I couldn't control my saliva, nothing. Like, I wasn't like hardly conscious. And this is what I was going to get them, like I said, to explain, but they feel they can't explain because it will literally make them cry. So let me put this in perspective. Like, what it was like for me, I can't hardly remember anything. But for them, I had my grandparents and everyone over for Christmas. We were supposed to be having a nice Christmas and everything, just relaxing, enjoying each other's company and everything. And I was stuck in hospital, and they came to see me, and my mum would not actually let my grandparents actually see me. I was that bad because they would have been scarred for life. So what would actually happen, what I remember happening, is the spasms were getting so bad I was actually having seizures while on the gas and air, which is it reduces pain and makes you feel all like fuzzy and all like just numb and everything. But I was still in agony then, but I was having seizures and then completely stopping breathing. But I was conscious when I was stopping breathing. So I'd stop breathing and I'd be like, why can't I breathe? Like, I want to breathe. Like, what's going to happen? Like, I didn't know if I was just going to stop completely. Is this it? Like, am I going to die, like, right now? So I stopped breathing completely, and then I'd be able to breathe again straight after. And these seizures went on for probably about a day, 2 days, and I had loads of IV lines in me at this point. Like, I've been drugged up completely at this point, and this is when the muscles started to settle, and I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to start moving my leg a bit. Okay, I'll shuffle over, and I'm able to turn my side and move my leg just a tiny bit. So I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, I'm literally like, thank God I can actually move my leg. Maybe it's just because the spasms were that bad. I thought I was paralysed. I thought, like, I'm never going to be able to walk again, all this stuff. So a couple of days gone by, I'm trying to, like, move. I can barely move my toes, but I can at least move just a tiny bit on my leg. And this is where it all kicks off. There's a little button on the back of an Entonox, like, canister that you suck and it can give you a boost. And obviously I've been on Entonox for about 2 days straight at this point, so I'm completely just, like, zombified. Like, I'm so off my face. So I accidentally press it, and they proceed to take the Entonox off me, and I'm sat there screaming in pain, crying my eyes out, and I have nothing to deal with the pain. Not even the drugs that I'm on that are making me like this are, like, dealing with it. So I actually get security called on me. So I get security called on me in the hospital while I'm crying my eyes out in agony, just because I accidentally pressed the button when I've been on Entonox and I'm off my face because of all the drugs. So they come up, have a word with me, and I'm like, I'm just kicking off at this point. Like, well, you're gonna call security on me when I'm, literally like in this state. So they pretty much proceed to say, oh yeah, you know you're not allowed to that. And I'm like, yeah, I do realise I need to know that. It's kind of hard to like know that when I've been on it for 2.5 days. It's just, yeah, it's really stupid. So more days pass by, and I shuffle over to the bed and I'm like, okay, right, I'm going to try stand up. And I try stand up and I'm like, oh my god. And at this point, like, I'm really scared, because I can stand up, I say that, but I can't walk. I cannot walk at this, like, I couldn't walk at all. I could barely like lift my foot, anything. I was so terrified to even put my just toe on the floor of my left leg because of that spasm. I was terrified, shit scared. I was terrified to just do anything, so I just tried to get whatever physio I could in at all. So yeah, pain got under control. I got put on like one of these drivers, which is like a constant slow releasing morphine pump with some anti-sickness in, which stops me being sick. So that really did help. But then days were going past, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake, what's another thing that I haven't got? I haven't been to the toilet again, because I've just been stuck there. So all these drugs that I've been absolutely loaded up with, it's made me extremely constipated. And then my stomach started to swell and swell and swell again, and I couldn't breathe, and I got pushed up on my diaphragm again. I'm freaking out, panic attacks, everything. Like, it's just a mess. So long story short, like, we got everything under control. I tried to do as much physio as I can. Like, I can pretty much what I tried to do, the best I could do, is just lift my leg. Maybe try go for a little walk, but I had to hold on to a nurse's hand because of how like unstable it is. When I stand up, even now, my leg just shakes. So yeah, it's really been really rough, and I just yeah, I'm pretty much scarred. I'm scarred from what experience have happened the last 4 weeks, and obviously I haven't been able to make a video on it because I've been in there. So pretty much what the plan is now is we're gonna get the result, because I had a scan a couple of days ago, and it was alright, quite comfortable actually. It did cause a bit of pain in my neck, but it is what it is. So we're gonna have the review on the scan and see what the cancer's been doing. Has it spread? Has it grown? And what has it done? Whatever it must have done something, because there's no way it's like got this bad. So we'll review that on Monday, and I think the plan is then to pretty much proceed to have some chemotherapy, another lot of chemotherapy, like the same week, or like next week, or the week after. I'm not quite sure the specific dates for it, so I'll keep you up to date with all that stuff. I think the chemotherapy that I am having is a chemotherapy called vinblastine, and they don't want to give it to me, which is the problem. They can't give chemotherapy with vinblastine because of constipation, and obviously I've been in hospital so much because of constipation and blockage and all this obstruction, all this stuff. It's kind of just like, well, how are we gonna be able to manage this? And maybe being Picolax the whole time, but like Picolax is just like, it's like a drink, like a sour, just bitter, just a vile drink. And what's awful as well is when you put it with something like any drink whatsoever, it has a chemical reaction and turns the drink warm. And every single time I've had Picolax, although it doesn't take long to work, if you keep it inside you for at least an hour, you're gonna go. But if every time I've had Picolax, I've thrown it up. I was like throwing up so much. They actually thought I was allergic to milk at one point, because I just throw up so much. I was just sat on the edge of my bed, just throwing up constantly. So like, as if people ask me, oh, how was your Christmas? I was just like, I don't really want to talk about it, innit? Because like, I didn't really have a Christmas. I was stuck in hospital dealing with all this shit, and so yeah, I think the plan is to proceed with the whatever like the scan looks like on Monday, and if the constipation is sorted, and I'm still dealing with it a bit right now. So if it is sorted by then, I guess they proceed. So what they want to do is start me off on quite a low dose, see how my body reacts, because if you didn't know, with every single different type of chemotherapy, there's thousands of different type of chemos. There's always side effects, no matter how low the dose is. So they're going to start me on like quite a low dose, and if depending on how I react to it, they're going to up the dose and pretty much blast this cancer as much as I can. So yeah, what I need to say is, like, the thoughts on this channel. It's going to be difficult making videos, obviously, because I'm very uncomfortable at the moment, and I never know when something's just going to snap or click, or pain, or just anything. Like, I'm just letting you guys know anything could happen. And when I mean anything, I mean generally anything could happen. Like, I've never been in my life like, I'm normally a strong person. Like, I've dealt with cancer 3-4 times, and this time it actually scared me. And the other times I was actually younger. So for me, being 18 years old now and scared is, yeah, it's terrifying. So yeah, guys, for the channel, I'm gonna try upload as much as I can. Maybe proceed with the Modern Warfare campaign when I can, but it's like, don't expect like a certain number of days and then the video comes out. It's gonna be random because I'm on so many drugs. I'm always so tired. I can, like, right now, I can still, like, I can't walk like very well at all. Like, it's like rehabilitation. Like, I can't walk very at all. Like, my left leg has become so weak and so just frail and just fragile in general. When I put my foot down, it just shakes. My whole leg just shakes and I cannot stop it. So it's just pretty much on the mends, try get as strong as possible, which is my main focus right now. Get as much exercise as I can, hopefully get back to a suit. At this point, like, I can't even have a bath or have a shower right now. I have to do a body wash because I'm like so scared I'm going to slip because of how unstable my whole body is. Like, pretty much this whole 4 weeks and this Christmas has just been an absolute mess. So yeah, I'm gonna try and make as many videos as I can on this channel. I wanna do a couple videos on GTA because obviously this new update did come out, and they're doing it, and I have got obviously 35 minutes, you can see right up there, that I've got to spend. I do maybe some reviews, got to buy the new arcade, so you'll see that in the next, I don't know, whenever I can. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much been the update video about where I've been, what's happened to me, and like everything that's been happening. I will make another video on Monday about what's happening, what I can see and being told about how the cancer looks, if it's spread, if it's like done anything just unusual in general, spiked. So yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, it's been quite tough to make because I didn't really know how to word it, so I've just gone off to the top of my head. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
You decide if you're ever gonna